Reid, good morning to you, Scott.
Morning, Marcia.
So let's talk, first of all, about Chris d'Entremont's move. What does it signal to you about the state of the Conservative Party, Pierre Poilievre's leadership, which will be tested formally in January? What are your thoughts?
Well, there's a difference between caucus and the rank and file. My guess is, notwithstanding this event, Pierre Poilievre is probably in good shape when it comes to marshalling the rank and file, the Conservative Party members. I think he has a firm control over that. We'll see. There's a run on the Pierre Poilievre bank. If we see 2, 3, 4 more members of Parliament in his caucus cross the floor to the Liberals, well, then that could create a crisis. But, you know, in terms of one member of Parliament, it's a punch. It's not a deadly punch. It's a blow. It's not a fatal blow for Poilievre. But it did serve as a big distraction at a time when Poilievre wanted to use the budget as a platform to demonstrate that he could be an alternative prime minister, that the program that Mark Carney is delivering isn't the right one for the country, and he can take us in a better direction. All of that got lost. Instead, he played defense the entire time. He frankly had to stay away from cameras because he didn't want to just answer questions about whether or not his leadership was receiving a vote of non-confidence from at least one member of his own caucus.
Are you surprised we haven't heard from him on this defection yet?
I think it's a tactical decision to go to ground because, one, he didn't want to answer questions about what that means for his leadership and why it is that a red Tory, a moderate conservative, no longer feels comfortable in his party and his caucus. And two, I think they were very much in fear that Chris d'Entremont yesterday was not going to be the only defection. I mean, there was a fever gripping Parliament Hill yesterday. People were telling me, like, get ready, strap in, buckle up. You could be on TV all day, dude. There could be 5, 6 members of Parliament from the Conservative caucus walking on. I'm not kidding. I had people literally telling me yesterday there could be as many as 6 defections from the Conservatives. Now, that's all hyperbole. At the end of the day, that didn't happen. A couple of the names that people have really circled in red ink came out, made statements, or released videos saying, I'm staying where I am. So Poilievre battened down the hatches. But that's the point. He wasn't on television talking about the budget. He wasn't on television talking about a program for people and what makes sense for them. He had to stay behind the scenes, work his own caucus, and make certain that his own job remains secure. That is not an expression of strength as a political leader.
I want to turn now to Jean Chretien, the comments that he made last night. I was at that event. I heard him criticizing the premiers using the notwithstanding clause a little too freely or liberally, if you will. What do you think?
Well, I think he's right, and I think it's astonishing that this discussion isn't a bigger discussion in the country. And, you know, if anybody has the moral authority or the expertise to speak with command on this issue, it's Jean Chretien. He was literally in the room when the charter was brought into existence with Section 33, the notwithstanding clause. And if anyone can say with certainty that the entire purpose was to use it in only the most extraordinary of circumstances, and that the assumption of those that gave birth to it was that it would rarely be employed, if ever, it is Jean Chretien who is in a position to say that. And he's quite correct. Now we have provincial governments using it preemptively to protect legislation they're introducing, whether it's to remove the collective right to bargain, as we're seeing in Alberta, whether it's potential for other minority rights being trampled on in the province of Quebec. And, you know, I think what Mr. Chretien is saying, and it requires real discussion and debate, is we cannot always allow majority legislatures to just play at whims with people's rights and to deny those minority groups the right to appeal to the courts to protect their rights. I don't know that the public will respond, but thank goodness his voice is loud and clear on this.
Scott, good to see you this morning. Scott Reid is CTV's political commentator.